Before I go off on this little mini tangent on this fine Sunday afternoon, I need to say, first and foremost, Paul Felder is a fucking gangster, man. Let's talk about that real quick. You know, he weighed, from what I understood, around, in the low 180s. He said 5 days ago he went for a 2-hour run in sweats, and at the end of the damn thing, still weighed 178. Manages to make 155 pounds, 5 days notice, to fight, oh, by the way, a guy that is revered. You know, he took out Anthony Pettis to win the world title 5 years ago. It's a top welterweight contender. RDA on 5 days notice. That was huge lifting that he did for the UFC. Paul deserves good things to happen to him. First and foremost, warrior shit, gangster shit. You know, I think we're going to see Paul have a resurgence of his career. He was defeated last night, but nothing to be ashamed of. Came out there, you know, RDA was relentless with the takedowns like we expected. Paul landed where he could. Ultimately, you know, he lost a pretty one-sided decision. Fought his ass off. Props to him. But Jesus Christ, man, the UFC has to do something about this horrible fucking judging. I saw it, I've seen it a lot here lately, and the first instance I saw of it last night, and this guy's name is eluding me right now, the guy that wrestled with Virginia Tech as part of his training camp, the Jack guy at bantamweight. I thought that fight, you know, in my opinion, he won that fight 29-28. I thought that was the general consensus. Worst case scenario, you could have given his opponent a 10-8 round, which would have made the fight a draw. Well, we get the cards back, and one judge has it like some bullshit, like 30-27 the other way, like him losing all 3 rounds after he controlled 2/3 of that fight from top control and landed offense and whatnot. And we're reading the cards after, you know, Paul was defeated by RDA, and what was, in my eyes, a clear, and everyone, no, fuck my eyes, it was a clear 50-45. You know, you could maybe give the first round to Paul because he landed that spinning elbow and busted RDA open, but Jesus Christ, man, like, he for sure lost rounds 2-4, not debatable by any stretch of the fucking imagination. And we had a judge give Paul Felder the fight 48-47. Had him winning 3 rounds. And Paul heard that the decision went to him, and he looks around like, what the fuck? Like, Michael Bisping commented on it. Like, Michael Bisping, you know, literally said, you know, whatever judge scored that fight needs another job. And he's right, man. Like, I understand they try, from my understanding, and you guys can correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, but they try to find people to judge that are, well, there's a licensing process you have to go through, and in that process, the UFC tries to find people that don't have a training background, people that haven't been, you know, and they're training with these guys that have wrestled, guys that have done jiu-jitsu, guys that have boxed. They try to find guys that, you know, don't have connections to these fighters, and I get that because you don't want, you know, people having bias towards, you know, fighters they're a fan of, but Jesus Christ, man, we're going to have to get some people judging these fights that know the fucking sport, man, because it's not fair to these guys that are going in there and killing each other. Like, what if, imagine this, imagine that shit judge that, you know, called it 48-47 Felder last night. Imagine if there was another one of him on that fight, and we have Paul Felder walking away with a split decision victory. Imagine if that was a title fight. Imagine the travesties and the money that's going to be lost, you know, for these fighters that fight for a living, that only have so many times that they, in a calendar year in their entire career, that they get to go out there and dance, you know. They only get so many shots at this, guys, and like, a bullshit judge can be the difference of them making $100K and them making less than half of that, of them getting that title shot, of them not getting that title shot. These shit judges are changing the trajectory of the sport and of these fighters' careers. And I keep seeing it over and over again of just like scorecards that just make no sense. And like, it seems like about every other show, we have at least one fight where the scorecards are read off and there's just one card that makes 0 sense. And another fight, it happened 3 times last night. Had a few too many drinks, my memory's eluding me. But those two 21-year-old girls that fought, Uriah Faber's girl, like she clearly, like Corey McKenna, she did not win that fight, guys. She maybe won the second round. Uriah Faber knew that she lost. You could tell by the girl's face, she knew that she lost, and she was gifted a decision off of horrible judging. The other girl was completely robbed. And it's horse shit, guys. Like, Uncle Dana, you know, we got to do something. I swear to God, let me be a fucking judge. I'll take my licensing test this week. I'll sign a contract. I'll make a YouTube video swearing that I won't be biased. I know the sport. There's people that know the sport that should be judging and giving these fighters a fair shake. This is bullshit, Dana.